Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tuesday night client community call. Today is November the 29th, and I've been chatting with people as they're coming in, and my name is Frank Davis. My wife and I are both certified independent Optavia coaches, and we're so excited that you were able to tune in tonight. You got your camera on and you're able to take part in this call. I lost 60 pounds on this program, and my wife lost 87 pounds on this program. We then formed a professional coaching practice. We own and operate our own coaching practice, and we have thousands of clients from coast to coast. We both love being a coach. It's fun, it's rewarding. We love helping people lose weight, get healthy, and change their life, radically change their life. But tonight, I'm thrilled to talk to you and lead this call. We do this every week on Tuesday night, and I'm going to be talking tonight about a subject that not a lot of people really think about. And if we do think about it, we don't put a lot of thought into it. We're also going to have a couple people speak tonight, and this call is going to go about 30 minutes, and we hope to have some time at the end for a few questions or have you speak. All right, so let's get rolling. Tonight, we're going to be talking about water. And if you're like me in the beginning, you may not realize the importance of water in your health journey, but water plays a key role. Unlike fat, our body can't store water. So we need to be constantly putting water in. Being well hydrated keeps all our organs functioning properly, and it's really essential for our kidneys to kind of filter out and eliminate all those toxins and byproducts. And according to Dr. Anderson, who's a board certified critical care physician, we lose about 12 cups of water every single day. That's a lot of water, 12 cups of water. We lose 2 cups of water through our perspiration. We lose about 6 cups of water through our urine. And we lose about 1 cup of water through the soles of our feet. And we lose 2 to 4 cups of water just through our breathing. That's a lot of water on a daily basis. So we need to be constantly putting that water in. So what are some of the other benefits of water? Well, first of all, water is calorie free. It contains no sugar. It contains no caffeine. And for the most part, it's pretty cheap, right? I mean, a lot of us get water essentially for free or at a very, very low cost. Water, the more you drink, it can help you feel full. It can help you keep you from overeating. Water prevents dehydration. Water minimizes fatigue, lack of energy, headaches, and unclear thinking. And according to Dr. Anderson, water can actually speed up your metabolism. It helps your liver also convert fat to energy. So now that you know the importance of water, how do you lose weight? And what role does water play? All right, first of all, we need to understand that our body, in the very simplest forms, we get energy from 2 main sources. We get energy from glucose in our body and the fat in our body. And when we're eating low glycemic, most of you are probably either on a 5-and-1 or 4-and-2 program. That's a low glycemic eating plan. So when we're eating low glycemic and we're eating every 2 to 3 hours, our body then begins to pull energy from the fat because our glucose is low, or at least our glucose is stabilized. Whereas in the past, maybe if you were like me, prior to this program, eating a typical American Western diet, our glucoses, or at least my glucose, was high. And our body pulled that energy, or my body pulled that energy from the high glucose levels from fat, leaving the fat cells alone. That's why I couldn't lose weight. It just left the fat cells there. So the fat cells just got bigger and bigger, and they just kind of hung around, waiting to be used as storage. Now, most people come on this program to lose weight, and they want to lose their body fat. There's a couple types of body fat, but we're just going to call it body fat. Some people think you lose weight by exercise, and we know it's very difficult to exercise the weight off. You can't outrun the fork. Plus, your fat cells cannot be destroyed. Your body gets rid of fat cells on a cellular level. So fat is made up of individual cells, and they're filled with a fat droplet, water, salts, and protein. The fat droplet is comprised mainly of triglycerides, which is a molecule. I'm getting really deep here, but it's a molecule made of glycerol and 3 fatty acids. That's why it's called triglycerides, tri being 3 glycerides. So fat cells are used primarily, like I said, for energy, and they work the muscles, move our body. In addition, fat protects our vital organs, right? And it keeps us warm. That's another purpose of fat. So during the fat burning process of this program, the body converts that fat into energy, which causes the fats to shrink in size and break down. And when they break down on the cellular level, they release energy, and it converts into 2 sources, carbon dioxide, which is CO2, and water, H2O. When the water and carbon dioxide leave the body, it leaves in 2 forms, primarily. Carbon dioxide leaves when we exhale when we're breathing, and the water leaves in our urine. Now, we lose some of it through perspiration, like I said, through the soles of our feet. Did you know that 84% of the water that leaves our body leaves through breathing, and 16% leaves through urine? That's why we need to be drinking the water, because we're constantly expelling the water. So if your body doesn't have enough water, you won't have enough to excrete. So how much water is enough? Typically about 8 glasses of water or 64 ounces of water. But always check with your coach, because I don't know your particular eating plan. Anyways, I kind of dived really deep into all about the water, the cellular level, and I hope that helps you understand how we lose the weight and why that water is important. But I also want you to hear from a couple speakers tonight. And I'm going to be introducing you to the first speaker tonight. She is a client of ours, and she's out in Seattle, Washington. I just want her to share really quick, maybe take a few minutes, tell you a little bit about what she does, who she is, how she done on this program, and why water was important for her. Her name is Paula Wright. So Paula, if you can come off mute and share a little bit.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. So I'm actually new. So I'm here in Seattle. I've been here for a couple of years, moved from Arizona. I would say, and my new career is I'm a wellness teacher and yoga teacher. I gained about 30 pounds during the pandemic, and it slowly lost it on another diet program, and then slowly gained it back. So I have been on the 5-in-1 program for about a month now. And I'm really happy with the program. I think it is so easy to follow. I think that the food is really good, and I'm already seeing the weight loss. It's just, really been wonderful to see the impact of the program. So I am actually somebody that enjoys drinking water. And so I work from home now, and so I have easy access to my water, and I generally drink about 64 to 72 ounces a day. I drink spring water because I believe, based on my research, it's the healthiest type of water to drink. So Arrowhead, and there's other brands, but that's what I drink. But it is really important. And what I have found personally, and I would actually describe myself as someone who's been a yo-yo dieter for most of my adult life. But what I experience with drinking water and when I don't drink water is that it really does help with weight loss. The weight loss comes off much easier and much more consistently when I'm consistent about drinking my water. I also noticed that I actually feel better. I have more energy. I feel more energized when I drink water. I feel healthier when I drink water. I know the other thing I've noticed about with high protein diets is sometimes it can cause constipation. And when you're drinking enough water, it really helps with elimination. And I think, Frank, you kind of talked to that, just kind of cleansing the body on a regular basis. Science, it also helps to keep me full. That's the other thing. It helps to suppress my appetite. It really does. When I don't drink enough water, I find that I'm seeking more things to snack on and to fill my craving. So it really does help to suppress the appetite. And the other thing is that I live in the city and I walk quite a bit. I live a pretty active lifestyle. I dance as well, and I teach yoga. And the research says that the water is really important for our joints and keeping our bodies, just healthy and movement and our muscles and all of those things. So, and also the science says that drinking water burns more calories when you do that. So that's really, really important. So so for me, I just feel so much better when I get the enough water in my diet, and when I don't, I can tell a difference. But I did want to say, Frank, there are times that I do get tired of drinking water. That's mostly what I drink. And so there's two things that I've added to my diet that I just wanted to share, if I may. And one of them is, I'm going to hold this. I don't know if you can see this. It's oolong tea. And I buy my oolong tea from Trader Joe's. I don't know. Do you guys have Trader Joe's where you are? Any of you? It's a health food store.
Yeah,
And you do. And so there's a lot of health benefits to oolong tea. And I wanted to just share just real quickly. But the studies show that oolong tea actually stimulates fat burning as well. And it increases the number of calories that your body burns by up to 3.5%. And it has a lot of amino acids and L-theanine, which shows that it has a lot of positive effects on brain health as well, and sleep quality, and reducing stress and anxiety, which we know are all important to, weight loss as well. So I did want to share that just as a tip for something that else, that satisfies me when I'm tired of drinking water. And then the other thing is that sometimes I'll drink Crystal Light pink lemonade. That's my favorite flavor.
All right. Thank you so much, Paula, for sharing. There were some great tips there. Water lubricates joints and helps with the metabolism, makes you feel better. Obviously, prevents or can prevent constipation. So great tips. And we have a Trader Joe's here, and we go there quite frequently. So I'm going to have to check out that oolong tea. I've made me a little note here. I've never heard of it, so I'll check it out. All right. Well, the next person I want to speak is, again, another client of ours. I don't want to steal her thunder, so I'll let her tell you a little bit about how long she's been on program, maybe what she does for a living, and why water is important for her. So Kathleen Ward, if you could come off mute and share for a few minutes.
Okay. Hi, Frank. Can you hear me okay? Great. Hello, everyone. I hope you had a great holiday. I'm really happy to be here. I have been on programs since February, and I'm a pediatric nurse practitioner by background. I did that for about 28 years. And in the last year, transitioned my job to where I'm working for a healthcare company doing quality improvement and population health. So I'm working at home now, which is a big difference, and that started in March. But I started my journey in February, and just absolutely love the program. And as far as water goes, I was never really opposed to drinking water. I just never really kept track of it. I might have added some lemon to it to, drink it a little bit more. But once I got on the program and, I understood the science of why water was important for fat burn and, really working at the cellular level to help me lose weight. I really became focused and followed the plan, but I found that what really made it successful was tracking it. So no matter where you are at your journey, you started with the book, the Optavia guide, where you could track your water. So I would say, number one, that was really helpful to make sure that I got that 64 ounces in. And I really checked the boxes off all day. And even after that 6 weeks was over in the book, I decided to print out the guides, and every day I just kept checking it off. So it just, I knew I was going to do it and it was okay. So I kept track of it. I started with a really big, I like to drink water from a glass. So I had this big kind of pint glass. This one's actually 18 ounces. So I would try to get 2 of those in before noon and try to get my water in early in the day. And that was a big help. And just to add some more variety, I started getting these sparkling waters that didn't have any sodium or caffeine in them, just for a little bit of different kinds of flavor. And that helped me along as well. But I continued to track it, and I still continue to track it. Although I have struggled, I have to say, I lost 65 pounds from February to September, and I've been in transition the last 2 months, and haven't been tracking as much as I normally have. So I've learned that I've got to get back to doing that. But I found that 64 to 72 ounces for me a day was doable. Again, getting it in early in the day, using some variety, and definitely keeping track of it. But I could also say that, recently, as I haven't been tracking and maybe haven't been drinking as much, I have experienced some of those things that Frank said, like maybe a little bit of brain fog or fatigue, feeling hungry, and then thinking, okay, well, maybe I'm not getting my water in. So I would also just encourage, to try whatever else you can to make things work. I also have a big jug here. This holds about 32 ounces of water. So 2 of these a day, get my water in. I keep water in my car. I keep some sparkling water in my car. I usually try to grab a bottle on my way out, no matter where I'm going. And the one thing I've started recently, because it's been really chilly here in the Northeast, I found that didn't really want to drink that cold water anymore, is I'm starting to drink it room temperature and leaving the cans room temperature. And so doing that, and also started using a straw too, sometimes, just to get the water in a little bit more quickly. But just keep track of it. Keep going on your plan. If you're getting your 5 in 1s, you can also have 1 glass of water with each of your fuelings, and then just try to supplement in between with the rest of it. So those are the things that I found that work, and I hope they'll, maybe you can try some of them and they'll work for you too. So.
All right. Thank you very much, Kathleen. That was some great tips in there. I heard you. I hope you all heard the tips, is keeping track of it. Because if you're like me, sometimes the day can kind of get away from you. It's like, I got to the end of the day, in the beginning, it's like, how much water have I drank today? Have I drank enough, or did I drink too much? So keeping track of your water is a great tip. One of the things I used to do, and this is my water jug here, I used to put a rubber band on here. I put 6 rubber bands on it, or 5 rubber bands. And at the beginning of in the morning, and every time I finished it or filled this up, I'd take a rubber band off. And if at the end of the day, there were no rubber bands on here, I knew I drank all my water. So there's a lot of little tricks and tips. And Kathleen, congratulations on losing 65 pounds. That's awesome. And thank you for sharing. All right, we got one more speaker coming up, and then we're going to have some time for questions and answers. I see there was a question there about sparkling water. Typically, if you're looking to add anything to your program, whether it's sparkling water or anything, you really want to look at the calories, you want to look at the sodium content, and you want to look at the caffeine. So those are the 3 main things you want to look at. If they're all 0, 0, 0, you're good to go. All right, now I want to introduce another client of ours. She's actually a coach as well. And I don't remember if she's a dietitian or a nutritionist. So I'll let her explain that to you. But I want Kelly to kind of come off mute and share for a few minutes, and then I'm going to come back up and answer some questions and kind of wrap it up.
Hello, everybody. Can y'all hear me? Okay. I'm Kelly. I am to answer Frank's question, I'm a dietitian nutritionist. So my license says that I'm a licensed dietitian nutritionist. They added all of those together in one license. And so, so I'm both. But my background is clinical. So a lot of my my patients that I had taken care of for years and years are people that have had diabetes, or they've had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, kidney disease, things like that. And so those are all conditions that it matters how much, what you're eating and how much water you take in. I wanted to bring up a couple of things about water. Something that a lot of people notice, that I noticed myself, and that people have noticed that I help with this program, is their skin. They tell me their skin's so much better. Their skin is clearer, or it just feels more hydrated, or it glows more. It's more resilient, and that kind of thing. And they just notice their skin is so much better. A lot of that has to do with the fact that you're washing out a lot of toxins, and you're getting rid of the stuff that's causing problems. And so that makes a huge difference in our skin. Frank mentioned triglycerides when he was talking about fat. And it made me think of something that most people don't realize. Triglycerides can make your cholesterol get higher, okay? And the way you make triglycerides come up in your bloodstream or in your labs, whenever you have your annual labs, only two things: is high fat baked goods, breads, muffins, pastries, things like that, and alcohol. Those are the only two things that raise triglycerides in our blood. Just a side note, just so you know. If you're drinking more water, you don't, even if you're out and you're having a special occasion, and you know how they always tell you, you can drink water in between your drinks of alcohol, and that helps a lot. Mainly because it dehydrates you. Alcohol dehydrates you as well. So it adds in there. But something I wanted to bring up was the fat whoosh. Okay. You know how a lot of times we're plugging along with program and we're not losing anything, and then all of a sudden, boom, it seems like we lost 2 or 3 pounds in one day. Has anybody had that happen? Raise your hand. Okay. And so what happens is that as the fat is coming out of your cells, those fat cells, water is coming back in and filling it up. And then when we don't fill it back up with fat again, the water goes out of that cell and it flattens out. We don't ever get rid of the fat cell. Y'all probably know that. You don't get rid of it, it just flattens out. And so we don't want to make more fat cells so that we don't have more of them stacking up. But it just flattens them out. But as long as we have, and of course, drinking more water is not going to make them plump up again. That only happens during that time frame when you're getting rid of the fat in that fat cell, because the body has this defensive mechanism of trying to hold on to that, because it's thinking, you're feasting right now, later you're going to have a famine. Well, most of the time in the United States, we don't tend to have famines anymore here. So that's not an issue. But that's something that happens. If you notice that your weight loss is kind of stagnant and then all of a sudden it goes down, that's what it is. Okay. So that's one of the reasons. Something I also want to bring up is, in the way that our foods are made nowadays, there's a lot of things put in our food, even though we think we're getting fresh meat from the butcher, or we're getting fresh veggies or whatever from the grocery store. And they add a lot of things to them. As far as like our meats, they'll add in a sodium and phosphate solution into our meat. They inject it in to make it look pink and plumper. So we have sodium in our food that doesn't have to be listed on the label. It's legal. They can get by with that. So there are a lot of times there's sodium in things that we don't really taste. We don't know it's there. And so we're getting sodium already in those things. So that's one of the reasons why it's good to limit the amount of sodium you add. And if you're drinking more water, it helps to eliminate that extra sodium that you may be getting like for instance, when you go out to eat, there's always going to be more sodium in that food than in the food that you're making at home. Because they add more sodium, but they also, when it arrives to them, they have to order it from a restaurant supplier, and it's going to have more sodium in it also. So drinking more water helps. I like using these. I mean, it doesn't have to be that brand, but I like using these. It's 1 liter. This is 1 liter. And I drink 3, if not 4 of those every day. I'm only 5'2". I'm not very tall, but that's a lot of water for somebody this short as me. But so I end up drinking 3 to 4 liters a day of water. And what I do is I drink half a liter, half of one of these each time I eat the 6 times throughout the day. Even when you're on maintenance, you're going to keep up that 6 times a day. Even if you're not using the fuelings that you order and you've transitioned off of those and you're using Whole Foods in the grocery store, you're still going to be eating 6 times a day because you want to keep that metabolism moving and you want to keep the blood sugar steady. That's how you maintain. Okay. So that water is helping do that all the way through. So getting rid of that hidden sodium, helping you out with that hidden sodium, and also making your skin better, getting rid of toxins, and helping you get rid of the fat deposits because the water is helping to carry that out. Okay.
All right, Kelly, thank you so
Any
much.
questions?
Thank you so much. That was great information. And I did not know that they injected meat with sodiums and stuff. So that's good information, good to know. And another reason to drink more water to flush all that stuff out that we don't need, or probably don't need a lot of. All right, we got a few more minutes left, and I'm going to open it up for questions and comments here in a minute. But I just want to tell you a little bit about, about coaching, because a lot of people ask me, and we hardly ever address it on this call, is why would anybody want to step into coaching? First of all, as a coach, you're in business for yourself. Okay, so Kelly, who you just heard from, is a coach. She doesn't work for us. She's not our employee. She's totally in business for herself, but we support each other. Now, what are some of the benefits of coaching? Well, I stepped into coaching as well as my wife did because we wanted to stay accountable to ourselves, to our own health journey. Coaching is very rewarding, not only from a spirit of goodwill. There's a lot of compensation with goodwill when you're helping people lose weight and get healthy and improve their lives. Plus, Optavia compensates us extremely well for our time and our efforts based on our time and our efforts and some of the volume that we're doing. And I got to share this kind of disclaimer here. So kind of a disclaimer, anytime we mention income, I've got to share that disclaimer there. And our story is unique. So my background is that I was a cardiac first assistant, and I don't do that full-time anymore. My wife and I are full-time coaches. So all our income comes from Optavia as a result of our time and our efforts. So if you're interested in coaching, want to just know more about it, reach out to the person that invited you to this call tonight. You can do a telephone call, what's called a Coach Explore, just to dive into it and figure out a little bit more, see if coaching might be right for you. All right, I want to open it up to any questions about water or nutrition or anything at all. We've got Kathleen and Paula and Kelly, and of course myself, that are here to answer any. So if you've got a question, you can raise your yellow hand down there. You got a yellow hand down there, your bar down there, or just kind of raise your hand, or just come off mute. Anybody, or put it in the chat. Any questions? And if I'm not, there's like 5 screens here, so I'm not able to see everybody's screen. If you raise your hand, Paula, you got a question?
I do. Actually, somebody asked a question in chat about the oolong tea, and they mentioned that it has caffeine in it, and it does, because it has both black tea and green tea. And so I'm still fairly new to the program, and so I'm not really sure about what the guidelines are related to caffeine. And so I was glad to see the comment. So I'm just wondering if you can clarify that, Frank. In terms of how are we supposed to be eliminating caffeine entirely from from our diets, or?
Okay, that's a great question. So you can have caffeine. So, typically when we think of caffeine, we think of coffee, right? You can have 2 to 3 cups of coffee on program, but really you want to limit the amount of caffeine you have in your day as the day progresses. So you want to limit that to maybe as, by the noon hour, 1 o'clock, because healthy sleep is so important to weight loss too. And if you're not getting the recommended amount of sleep, then it's going to affect your weight loss. And for a lot of people, caffeine interferes with healthy sleep. So again, if the tea has caffeine in it, you probably want to limit that to earlier in the day. There's a question on, can you have too much water? Yes, you can. But again, that'll be dependent on your height, your weight, the type of eating plan you're on. Typically 64 ounces is a minimum, but some of our clients are drinking 80, 90 ounces of water or 100 ounces of water, and that's probably okay for most people. But again, check with your coach. You may need to check with your healthcare provider, but check with your coach and see if you're drinking too much water, if that's a concern for you. We got about, we're out of time. Okay. I wish we had more time for questions and answers. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I hope this was of value to you. I hope that you will understand the importance of water. Next Tuesday night, we're going to do another client community call. I hope you come back. It'll be some other topic, some other coach leading it. And I hope you come back. And thank you so much for showing up. Y'all have a great night. Bye-bye.